Happy Friday, everyone. Welcome to Ed Talk TV, conversations worth having. I hope you're having a fantastic day. Tell me, where are you tuning in from? Let me know in the comments. If this is your first time joining us for the show, well, welcome. We go live Monday through Friday, 4 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. So you can like, follow, and see first my page, but you also might as well just do yourself a favor and all of us and pop it in your calendar. Set a reminder, hit repeat, Monday through Friday, 4 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. You're good. Then you don't have to worry about Facebook letting you know. See how easy that is? So, if this is your first time, welcome. My name's Ed. I'm your host, and basically I help you show up, deliver, and engage. You like that? Those are my 3 core values. And on this show, you just never know what you're going to get. We talk about business, tech, and the user experience. It's a talk show, so we break it up into little segments where we have random news. Well, we actually kind of have housekeeping stuff, so I'll tell you about that in a second. Then we have random news. Hey, welcome everyone. And then we jump into today's topic, which is going to be about Facebook and how it's affecting all of us. We'll talk about that. So, real quick, housekeeping, just to let you guys know, in the comments I put 2 links for you. The first one is checkwithed.com. That's where you want to go anytime after this show to find what you need. If you want to work with me, if you want to learn from me, and guess what? I made it so easy. Hey, Cheryl, welcome. I made it so easy for you guys. You don't even have to click really anywhere. If you just go to checkwithed.com later, not right now, just scroll down the homepage and boom, the big things are right there. Sign up for my email list, free, and then you get weekly recaps. So that way if you missed an episode, you got it right there in your inbox. And then you also can hit the next point where I think is like work from me and then learn from me and Hey Ed community. If you don't know what Hey Ed is, definitely check that out. It's an awesome community where we have everyone who is starting a business, already has a business. Like it's just a wide range of individuals who come together and learn about business and tech. Ask your quick questions, you find answers. It's a blast, and we all have a good time. So it's exciting. So there's that info for you. And then the other link is to celebrate our 100th episode, whoop, whoop, which is a week from today. A week from today. So if you're watching this on Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, it's actually next Friday, the 18th. If you would like to join me live here on the show and be a guest, which I hope you will, you can use that link. Up to 5 people can come on at once with me. How exciting is that? We've done 3. Now we're stepping it up for the 100th episode. So it's just going to be a party. So come through and hang out. It's just going to be simple. And it's on a Friday, so why not? So there's those 2 points. Now, today we're going to talk about Facebook and what's happening with most of our accounts right now. It's a little crazy. But first we're going to talk about random news. But before we even get there, somebody needs a water break. I don't know about you, but somebody needs a water break. I know it's so early in the show, but I had a great workout today, and I have just been like trying to just catch up on my intake of water. So bear with me for a second, especially if you guys are listening in. Oh, by the way, if you're a first timer around here, you need to pop into the comments, say hello, even if you're watching the replay. Like that's a big thing on this show, not just for me, but for you. I want you to get seen. I want you to be able to share your insights and share your knowledge. And the way you start doing that is by hitting up the comments, because later those comments then start turning into shares for yourself. And then it starts turning into you becoming a guest here on the show. And then it starts having you, it starts helping you go live on your own personal page as well as your business page. See? Teamwork equals success. And so that's what we like to do around here is we like to work together and help each other out. And that's why I provide the opportunity for you here. And then I also have a special, what would I say? I have special news for you guys towards the end that I'll share with you, so then you guys can tag your friends, bring them on over, because this is going to be a fun one. I haven't done this yet on the show, so officially, so we're going to do it today, and those who didn't show up are missing out, but if you're watching the replay, you can still participate. So, give me a second. Notice I don't even have the mason jar today, for those who, hey Mel, welcome. I don't even have the mason jar today. I had to go big on these. I've had a couple of these today, because it's hot over here. I don't know if you know, I'm in Northern California. It's 84 degrees today. Perfect with the breeze. I'm good. Let's not get any hotter. 90 maybe, but after 95 is no bueno. No bueno. Nikki, what's happening? Right on time for random news. So today, a couple things. Snapchat. I don't know how many of you guys, even if you're watching the replay, how many of you guys use Snapchat? You're probably like, well, I have it. Does that count? Yeah, that's partway there, but I'm curious how many of you guys are actually using it. It doesn't have to be for business. It can be for personal. I'm just curious how many of you guys have Snapchat. The reason I ask, just wanted to pop in and say hi. I'm glad you did, Mel. So appreciative of that. Thank you. I'll pop you on the screen there. There you go. We'll get a couple more people on here. Cheryl says hello. Mickey says, hey, Cheryl. Love it. See, that's what happens when you guys tune in. Oh, and if this is your first time, tell me how you found us. I always like to know. Did it pop up in your news feed? Was a friend referring you to me? Like, it's always fun to know. You were just like, hey, this guy sounds cool. I just found his name on Google and we did it. Not me, Cheryl says. Okay, so with Snapchat, I don't know if you guys heard, but they recently did a new redesign of their app that was supposed to be better. Now, I don't use it a whole lot. I kind of just watch a couple people on there and that's about it. Well, they did this whole redesign, I think at the beginning of the year. And then from there, they ended up getting a lot of backlash, like a lot of users. I mean, a ton of their users were like, no, we don't like this. We don't want, turn it back. I mean, they even had petitions people were signing to reverse back to their old design. And they were like, no, you guys, we're not going to do that. We're just going to let it sit. You'll get used to it. Let it marinate a little bit. Change is hard sometimes, but you'll figure it out. Well, apparently that still didn't go over well enough, so they ended up last night going through and redesigning the redesign, and now it's a little bit, I guess it's a little bit easier. So it used to look like, and correct me if I'm wrong, if there's some real Snapchatters out there, correct me if I'm wrong, because again, I haven't paid attention a whole lot with this, but it used to always look like this when you swiped to the right, where you just have all these stories show up, and then the little circles are the people, and then it switched over to some other little mess, which I don't have the example, and then it switched over to what's now in these rows. So it has your friends here, which obviously I only have one right now on there. Then your subscriptions, which is who you follow. So then you kind of just go through, and I kind of like the way that looks. And for me, I mean, again, I'm not a hardcore Snapchatter, but it's pretty clean design, and I'm liking it. Now, the reason why they're doing that and trying to step it up again is because recent polls, keyword poll, has told them that their audience isn't happy. Now, for those who have been following us, you already know this, and for those who are new, polling your audience is huge. It's one of those things that you want to take advantage of. And Facebook now makes it a lot easier for you to poll people in your posts. So keep that in mind. Let me just check the comments. Okay, Rich Friends referred you. Cool. I love Rich Friends. Mel says, wow, they did? Yes, we only do pictures and crazy voices. I know. Same here. Same here, Mel. And so the update apparently was last night. I noticed it yesterday, and then I was reading the article today. So they noticed that from their polling that they have lost, like their numbers have gone way down in terms of customer satisfaction. And so, of course, it's fight to the finish. They're trying to battle with Facebook, who you may or may not know owns Instagram. And both platforms, Facebook and Instagram, have what's called Stories. Well, Stories is basically a ripoff of Snapchat. However, Snapchat really does have, for the most part, better filters / goofy, videos that you can do and things like that. I don't know. It's a different experience. And that's the thing that you have to pay attention to with your business model and other people's businesses that you interact with is the experience, because that's what we're all going for. It doesn't matter really what your product is. It doesn't really matter how much it costs. It's the experience. What's the experience that we're getting out of this? And so for them, hey, Sabrina, nice to see you. Happy Friday. So for them, for Snapchat, they're trying to stay on top. They don't have to be the top yet, although it would be nice for them, They just need to stay afloat. And part of staying afloat for them is really holding their ground and trying to get their user experience to be comfortable again, because they disrupted it a little too much and users weren't happy. And then they weren't listening to their users. So then they finally caved in and were like, hey, we have to do something because we're losing it here in the polls. And so now they're hoping that this redesign of the redesign is going to work for them. Mel says Instagram wins, but Snapchat has the fun pics. Yeah, exactly. It really does. And so, and it makes sense that Instagram and Facebook stories, well, let's break that down for a second. So Instagram stories is by far, I think, more popular for people than Facebook stories. And I want to know if you are familiar with both. I'm curious to know what you think. Hey, Carla, welcome. I'm curious to see what do you think in terms of why it's more popular on Instagram than it is on Facebook. We'll talk about that in a second. Carla says, and the Rihanna situation did not help either. Well, there was that too. Yeah, there was that too. For those who don't know, there was a really bad thing put out by Snapchat maybe a month or two ago, where it was would you rather, and it was something like get hit in the face like Rihanna or punched like Chris Brown. I don't know. There was something about Rihanna, basically the domestic violence situation. So it was all bad. Not a good look for them. So when it comes to these stories and that are built into Instagram and Facebook, Instagram is winning, in my opinion, for the stories and the way it feels and the options you have available, which is kind of funny because you would think, since Facebook owns Instagram and they have stories on both platforms, you would think that the stories from Instagram, like the features and everything, would automatically be the exact same on Facebook, but they're not. Facebook, to me, is kind of wonky. Sorry, Facebook, but it's one of those things where I go to Instagram first, do my story there, and save it, and then import it over onto Facebook, because their look is better, and they have better filters. I mean, really, at the end of the day, most of us turn to Instagram for those filters, for images, right? And so they have that same type of thing going on with their stories. So if you're not familiar with stories, you can check that out. We actually have an episode we talked about stories that you can find back over on checkwithed.com. So you can take a look there. So when it comes to these stories, Instagram basically took it from Snapchat, and then Facebook now is like trying to catch up with Instagram. And it's one of those things that, Snapchat has to figure out how can they stand out, because Snapchat, it's harder to use in a way because you don't necessarily find your friends. It's kind of like a secret crowd in a sense, almost like your hole in the wall coffee shop. Like you don't want anybody to know about it because you just found it and you're like, this place is awesome. Like, I don't want anybody else knowing about this, because if they do, I'll never get my coffee on time and blah, blah, blah. Like, they might change things, whatever. And so it's one of those things that when it comes to Snapchat, it's kind of like you have to know someone who knows someone type thing. And you have to know someone who's on there, and you can share out your code. They have a code and all of that. But it's one of those things that you have to really think about more, versus Instagram and Facebook. They're like, oh, hey, you got Sabrina over here who just signed up. Say hi. Oh, you got Mel over here. Say hi. Oh, you guys have mutual friends. Let's connect. And it's like, that's a good thing, but also it can be a bad thing, because you're like, I really didn't want to be best friends with my boss, on social. So it's one of those things. Sabrina asks, what do you think about Vero? So I'm going to ask that for everyone watching, even if you're watching the replay. I want to know your honest opinion about Vero. And if you don't know what it is, look it up and then let me know in the comments, because I'm really, really curious to hear your thoughts as well. I will tell you, for me, I have not signed up for it. I have browsed their website. I kind of read the news when they first came out. Well, let me back up. Not when they first came out, because they've been out for a long time, but when they first really tried to push their marketing. I haven't signed up, only for the reason because most of those articles in the recent past few months were all about privacy and how you really couldn't delete your account, and there's just a lot of like negative thoughts and feelings around that. And I was like, I'm not trying to deal with all that. From the screenshots that I've seen in terms of the user experience and stuff, there's definitely an opportunity to improve because that is definitely not as easy as I would like it to be, which is great because that means that my app will be even better when it comes to it. But it's one of those things. Carissa, I am actually using the Ecamm Live. So if you go to checkwithed.com later, you can actually see it on my tools page, or you can see it on edtalktv.com. There will be a section there as well. So it's one of those things. Vero is a new social media platform, somewhat new, and it's supposed to be more like for you and not about the ads. And so everyone, especially since this Facebook thing, everyone's like, oh, let me sign up. Let me just jump on that. And it's interesting. So when you go through, and even if you don't sign up, but you're curious about it, go through and read the comments in the App Store and kind of get a vibe from that. And then let me know in the comments here later what you think about it, because it will be really interesting to hear your perspective and really what is it that you like or don't like about it. Like I said, I haven't signed up for it yet. It's on the watch list, but past that, I'm not really sure. Facebook's still my home for now. Hey, Vicky, welcome. Facebook's still my home. That's why I do the show live here, and then I put it on my blog and on YouTube just so it's out there, and then and I can connect with you guys more here. Like, that's what I love about Facebook, why I'm not so much in love with Instagram or any other platform, to be honest, because I am a connector. I love to show up, deliver, and engage with you guys. And Facebook's really the only one that really lets me do that with an ongoing ease of use, I guess. So it's one of those things that you just have to think about. Sabrina says, I do like it. There are some pros and cons. Sabrina, can you let us know some of the pros and cons? The more specific, the better, because that will help all of us, because I'm curious. Vicky saying hi, Mickey. See, this is what I love, when you guys show up in the comments and say hello to each other and hang out with me. It's awesome. So that's kind of where you're looking at in terms of the different platforms and kind of seeing there. Sabrina says more pros than cons. Well, that's always a good thing. And are you actually on it, Sabrina, or have you just been reading the comments? I'd be curious about that. So you have Snapchat trying to step up its game. Again, it's one of those things that, you have to stay ahead of the game, and by doing that, you have to do your market research. You have to check in with your audience. You have to go through and really ask them questions. Now, here's the thing. When we talk about polling, you might be thinking, okay, Ed, I did put a poll up on Facebook and nobody responded. I did send an email with a poll, with a survey, and nobody responded. Now what? Well, you have to keep doing it. You can't just show up and say, well, here it is, and then expect somebody to do it. I mean, hopefully they will, but you have to understand that it takes time, just like building your audience on social media. It takes so much time for you to be able to build a loyal following of real people. I'm not talking about the number of followers you have up at the top or the number of likes, because that doesn't mean anything unless they're actually engaging with you and unless they're actually working with you and buying from you, right? So don't pay attention to that number up there. Pay attention to down here in the comments. That's why I always say the magic happens in the comments. So you have to really think about that. And when you're polling your audience, you have to ask specific questions for the most part. Sometimes if they're too vague, then nobody wants to answer. But the more specific, the better. And the least amount of questions you can ask, the better. So every so often, like let's say you're on Facebook and you want to drop a poll. Well, just drop one question that's very specific and see what happens. If you're on Instagram, the way you can do polls is in the stories feature. The only downside is that you have to remember to go look back at the results by swiping up on that story, just because they don't notify you that people have taken it or not. So just fun facts there. And then, of course, you can use, here's a free resource. You can use SurveyMonkey, Typeform. I like Typeform. Either one of those will work for you. I'm pretty sure SurveyMonkey has free, but Typeform does. And you can use that for your surveys. And you can survey people. Survey people from your email list, from people that take your workshops. By the way, if you're not familiar, next Wednesday I have a paid workshop coming up at checkwithed.com. You can see it on the workshop page, just FYI. And if you're a Hey Ed member, you get it for free. So it's one of those things that you want to go through and work with your audience. Pay attention to what they're doing, what they're asking, and then use those to pull your audience. Use that information to pull your audience. And so that's kind of what Snapchat's trying to do now, is take the information now that they know that people are still not comfortable, even though it's been a while. They're like, okay, now we really have to change things. Otherwise, we're going to fall to the wayside, and then we got nothing. So again, it's all about that experience, and it's all about checking in with your customers, your audience, and seeing what they want, what they need, and being open to feedback, and realizing that feedback is strengths and opportunities. That's what you need to remember. When you look at it as strengths and opportunities, that's when anything that comes your way, you're ready for it. Yeah, there might be a hurtful thing once in a while that gets you down for a second, but you're like, cool. And then you just keep moving through it. You filter, and you're like, what works for me, what doesn't, keep it moving. That's it. That's why it's important to have your reviews tab turned on too. Again, it's still feedback. What are your strengths? What are your opportunities? And then you go from there. So that's part of random news, which is a really good one. What was the other part that I was going to share with you? Oh, let me pull it up here. Pretty sure. So Mother's Day. Did you know Mother's Day is coming up this weekend? Yeah, there's a few things. And soon we're going to get to what's going on with Facebook. Don't worry. So any of you guys ready for Mother's Day? I know I got a lot of moms that watch the show. So are you ready for Mother's Day? Are the kids ready for Mother's Day? Because it's coming up. And so those last minute gifts can, happen today. I don't know if Amazon's got a rush delivery going on, but hey, there might be. I found this article, though, that I thought was funny. We're going to take a quick look here before we jump into the other content. Gifts for moms who just want a nap and a drink. So, I don't know about you. Carla says she's ready. So, here is what I think every mom is probably ready to do, is just peace out. Like, let me just be alone. And I think it's funny the way they put this article together, and you're going to see why here in a second. They have, nap-friendly gifts for mom. Cool. $80 blanket. Okay, fine. Oh, but it's on sale for half off, so that's good. But what about a hammock? I like the hammock idea. How about a power nap capsule? How many of you guys are ready to get that on your list? $25,000. That's a steal. And you can have this, what looks like a cup that I would wear when I'm playing baseball. But hey, it's a napping pod. Who doesn't want that in their house or garage or bedroom if it's big enough? Very odd. Then they have this other pod. It's only $5,000 more for $30,000. Looks a little more interesting. Looks like it's got a nice little bed in there. Maybe it's a down comforter or a down pillow top. I don't know. What do you call that? I'm not sure. Sabrina says, so it is more of what Instagram was supposed to be more in the beginning. It's about your passion, networking, craft, and passions. Oh, that's for Vero. Nice. Okay, so that's for Vero. Good. Less about family pictures and selfies. Oh, that's good to know. Good feedback. Thanks, Sabrina. Carla, yeah, you eyeing those pods there? They're cheap. Put that on your list. Tell the kids, hey, you know what? Hit up the grandparents. Tell them, head over here. Maybe you and your mom can have a deal, right? Then there's, of course, a weekend getaway. How nice does that look? And then, of course, there's always the free version. Just an evening in. Just leave me alone. The sweatpants. Then you got your lounge pants. Listen, at $140 a pop or more, I'm just not sure lounge pants is how to spend that money. I'm just saying, like, I don't know about this whole cashmere thing, but you can get some lounge pants that are pretty darn comfortable for less than $50, less than $30, to be honest. So save that money. Audible gift card, I like that. I like that. Whiskey gifts for mom, it's very interesting. So there's just a bunch of these random ones that, range in a lot of prices. It's funny. Because you just don't know. You just don't know. Any of you guys know what you're getting for Mother's Day or what you're giving your mom, who hopefully doesn't see it here first until at least Monday? So anyway, that's that. Now, let's talk about Facebook. How many of you guys have been experiencing issues on Facebook recently? Probably more so than recently. Let me know in the comments. I'm going to take a sip of water because it's hot. So, if you're like me and several other people who I've talked to and have seen posts, you've probably been experiencing some issues lately. Vicky says, oh yes, all the time. Don't we all? And I'm going to kind of put my 2 cents in as to why it's happening. Of course, I don't know specifics, but I'm going to put in my 2 cents because it's worth it. Look at that. It's like L'Oreal, because you're worth it. Vicky says, I'm fed up with changing my password. Oh, yeah, that would be hard to have to deal with the password thing. Carla says, the sound has been off for videos I've been watching. Okay. Mickey says, she asked Joshua to get me a card or flowers. Nice. So he asked me to drive him to the store Saturday. Smart kid. I love it. Day before. That's how you do it. You can just get it done the day before. That way the flowers don't wilt, Mickey. He's just trying to make everything fresh for you. Gosh, it's like he's just looking out for you. He doesn't want the flowers to die. He wants them to be as fresh as you, because you are just so fresh and so clean. Where were we? We were talking about, Facebook, yeah. So Sabrina says, yep, all the time. So recently, like the last few days, it's been pretty choppy, especially when it comes to these videos. And Vicky says she's noticed the sound on the videos too. So here's my take. Well, first let's talk about the problem. There's several of them, but let's talk about one in particular, which is the sound cutting out on videos. So it's been very interesting because it's not just my videos, because some people were like, oh, Ed, some of your videos that cut out on the sound. Excuse me, it's happening on everyone's videos. Hit or miss, but some point when you're watching it, whether it's live or on the replay, there'll be a spot where the sound just cuts off. And then from there, you're like, this is probably you. You're like, huh? Okay, let me close the app. Let me open it up again. Let me press play. That's my volume. Where's my volume button? Oh, there it is. Oh, stupid phone. Stupid AT&T. Stupid Facebook, right? How many of us are kind of going through that from time to time here? And realizing that it's not just you. What's happening, Erica? It's about time. I'm just kidding. So it's one of those things where we think it's our device, which, to be fair, at some point it could be. Then we think it's our network, which, to be fair, it could be. And then we realize most likely it's probably the actual program, in this case, Facebook. And it's hard to determine because if you are just experiencing it in the moment and you don't hear of it from others, then you're like, it's probably just me. Which is why on my personal profile yesterday, I did put out like an FYI. Hey, it's not just you. It's happening to everyone. And now people are like, oh, good. Because I thought it was my device. I thought it was me. No, it's happening to all of us. And what's happening is the sound cuts out randomly on lives. Most of the time you can get it back if you fully close, fully open, and restart the video. It's a pain, which most of us are probably not going to do that unless it's like dire need. And then still it's a pain. So then from there, the reason I think, again, I have no insider information, but the reason I think that is happening is because this week they announced that they're going to be rolling out the new rewind feature. Yeah, if you didn't know about that, let me explain that for a second. So the rewind feature is going to be rolling out. It's slowly rolling out to profiles, which will mean that you can watch the live broadcast like you're doing right now. If you're watching the replay, hey. But if you're in the live broadcast right now, you could actually jump in like Erica, perfect example. See, she planned this. Erica just popped in. Well, we're already 30 minutes into this show. If she wanted to, she could rewind, once the feature's on her account, to the beginning and play and then continue moving forward. Versus, crap, I already missed 30 minutes of it. Now I have to wait till this finishes before I can go back and watch the beginning. It's kind of a pain, right? So they're adding the rewind feature, but my guess is the reason why we're experiencing these issues with the video is because they're adding that rewind feature to profiles, and they're just going to have glitches, for lack of better terms, without getting too techie, because it's kind of over my head. But just so you know, that's probably what's happening, because it happened about the same time. I'm guessing that the video player is kind of like, whoa, what? How are we doing this? Like, what's going on here? And that's what's messing it up for us randomly on our lives. I've only seen it on actual live videos that I've either watched or that I watched the replay. I don't think it happens on any of the uploaded videos because that's a different player, but maybe you've experienced it. I don't know. Tell me in the comments. Erica says, oh yeah, well, go with that. I did do it on purpose. I know. I got you. So that's my guess of why it's doing that. Now, some other things that I've noticed happening are the comments not showing up on a post. Have you guys experienced this, even if you're watching the replay? It's one of those things where you get a notification. You're like, oh, cool. Mickey said something. Cool, let me tap on the notification. It takes you to the post, and there's no comments. You're like, what? No. Okay, let me back up. Let me go back to notifications. Let me tap on Mickey's notification here, and it takes you to the post. There's no comments. But then if you click on the view post, you'll see the actual post and then all the comments. And you're like, what? What's going on here? And sometimes if it's a video, you have to play the video in order to get the comments to show up to comment. It is a pain. Thankfully, it only has happened a couple times to me, but it is really frustrating. Yeah, Mickey, it's crazy. So frustrating, I know. Vicky says, we got Mickey to Vicky. I was watching something the other day and noticed a fast forward and rewind button didn't release it was a new feature. Oh, cool. Yeah, it's rolling out, again, to just random profiles. There's no East Coast gets it, West Coast gets it, over the pond gets it. It's just rolling out. So yeah, it will be interesting to see how it works. I, of course, assume there's going to be glitches and that it will be very interesting to see what happens with it. And I think we're seeing some of those glitches now, early on. Vicky says, comments keep vanishing the other day. Yeah, well, and somebody was telling me on my personal profile that they took them 6 minutes to type a comment for someone's post. And then they got logged out before it could even post. And so it's like, there's just these weird glitches going on. And I would like to say that it's just Facebook, but I feel like this year, 2018, it's the year of growth, by the way, if you didn't know that. That's the word, the year of growth. And it's one of those things that I think we've hit a point in technology where we are seeing things that are super old in terms of like airplanes and stuff with technology, as we've seen some of the planes having some malfunctions and things like that. And I'm totally just generalizing here, but this is my take on it, is that I think we've come to a point in technology where we have so much new technology and things are changing so rapidly that the things that have such old technology that haven't been upgraded or can't upgrade enough, they're starting to really get worn out. And it's like, okay, things are going to start breaking. Things are going to start having some major glitches because they can't keep up with where we're at now. And you know, that happens every so often. But I think this is like it feels like it might be a milestone marker for a lot of the old technology. A simple example would be, you know, if you're rocking like an iPhone 3GS, some of you might not even know what an iPhone 3GS is, but if you're rocking one of those still, you know that you basically can't do anything on it because you can't upgrade it. You can't get any apps. You wouldn't be able to watch this on there, that's for sure. Kira, hi, nice to see you. You went live and couldn't see any of the comments. Oh yeah, that's been happening a lot too. Not having the comments show up. Yeah, that is true. I like your profile picture, by the way. It's awesome. You had to open a new window while live and then saw them. It was really interesting that you bring that up because I've had other people say that too, where they will see the comments come up, but then they stop, and then you can't see them again. Like, you just can't go past. What happened today, actually, in Messenger, so I wasn't on messenger.com, I was on facebook.com with the Messenger window open, and I was trying to scroll for higher up on the message that someone sent me, and it just kept bouncing. Like, it would not, I was like, what the heck? What? So I'm like trying, and then I try to like, you know, highlight to try to move up, wouldn't let me do it. I was like, you got to be flipping kidding me. So I went to messenger.com and I was able to see it there, which was nice. But it was hard. Oh, I should play the lotto right now. It says 7 viewers, 7 thumbs up, 7 hearts, and 37 laughs, and 7, oh my goodness. Maybe we should all buy a lottery ticket. I still got time over here on the West Coast. But yeah, it's one of those things where the comments are things are just really glitchy. And so understand that it's not just you. And here's a thing that you can do, which is what I did yesterday. If you're experiencing something like that and you think it's just you, throw up a post on Facebook. Ask people, are you experiencing XYZ? And then see what they say. Now, I know you're probably asking, well, Ed, why would I do that? Why did I waste my time posting that? Because it increases engagement. It means that somebody else might be experiencing it. Therefore, they're going to be like, yes, I'm experiencing that too. And then you're going to say, it's so frustrating, isn't it? GIF, emoji, here you go. And then they're going to say, yes, totally. And then it's this conversation. And then people start to see that more. And then they realize they're not by themselves. They're not alone. That you're experiencing it, they're experiencing it, and it's not just their device, and then they don't have to throw their device across the room and break it and then have to go to Apple and find out how much it's going to cost to replace the screen. I mean, that's just a lot of work. So isn't a simple post so much easier? I think so. I need a drink after that. How about you? Vicky says engagement. Exactly. It's all about that engagement. And then that's when you can start incorporating your polls. Is it frustrating for you when Facebook doesn't show your comments? Yes or no? Of course you probably know the answer. I mean, who's really going to say, no, it's not frustrating? I mean, you might, because you might not care about it, but you know, you kind of know the answer is going to be yes, but it's still fun to put a poll up. Make use of it. Erica says, yes, I have a bottle like that. Yeah, so Erica, you tuned in late, but I had to go with the higher bottle for water. It's only water, you guys, because I've had like 3, I think, of those, probably more, because it was a tough day at the gym. That's one of the dogs, by the way, not me. So Facebook's just having those kinds of glitches. This happens a lot too on Facebook business pages. How many of you guys have a Facebook business page? Let me know in the comments. By the way, I guess this is a good point in the show to let you guys know, since you're all hanging out with me still, the special thing that I wanted to present to you guys today. And if you're watching the replay, you can still participate. But because it's Friday and we haven't done this before, I figured, you know what? I want to open up the space in the comments for you to go ahead and promote something of yours. Don't be too spammy, but promote something of yours. You've watched the show now, days before, weeks before, whatever. So be free. Share something. Feel free to provide a link. Make sure that you give us a why, though. I want to know why. So let me explain. For instance, if I wanted to share the Hey Ed community in the links below or in the comments below, I wouldn't just say, here's the link to the Hey Ed community. No, I would give you an example, or I would give you some info about it. I would say, hey, if you're an entrepreneur, you're struggling with tech, you want to know more about business, you want to have a good time with like-minded people, you want to expand your knowledge, you want to find the right tools and resources, boom, you should be checking out the Hey Ed community. Why? Because we have a good time and we learn a lot. And it's cheaper than going with anybody for a 1-hour session, and you get it for a whole month. Here's more information. Boom. Pricing goes up June 1st, so check it out soon. Something like that. You want to make sure that you provide some info. I'm training you guys so that you train yourselves, and then you train your audience. See how that works? Because here's what I see a lot of the times when people promote in Facebook groups, most of the time you'll see this in groups, is, hey Paula, welcome, is people will just drop their link. They'll just be like, here's my Facebook page. More likes, please. More follows. Here's my Instagram account. Here's my latest products. Here's my latest course. Okay, I mean, that's a start, but we're kind of past that. It's 2018. We're about the engagement part. We're about the give me a reason to click on the link. Like, don't let me do the work. You do the work. You're trying to promote, so you do the work. So give us a little something about it. Even if you're watching the replay, I'm giving you permission to go ahead and use the comments to share, promote something of yours. It can be a freebie, it could be a free blog post, it could be your podcast, it could be your course, it could be your paid membership, it could be your free Facebook group, your business page, your Instagram account. I don't care. Just go ahead, promote. See, that's what happens when you guys show up. You get bonuses, and it's all free for you to do that. Paula is joining late because she headed back from a field trip with over 100 fifth graders. Paula, how was it? Where did you guys go? And I will say, I love seeing your Facebook Lives. You've been starting to do more, and I love being able to see the photos. I saw one today, I think it was, where you had taken a picture with you and the kids. It looked like it was a fun time. So, that's what you guys want to be doing is starting to just push yourselves a little bit. Push a little past that and seeing what you can do. I will tell you that, I love having downtime. I love it and I hate it, but my brain really loves when I have downtime because it starts putting things together, starts putting the pieces together, and starts formulating new things. Sometimes that's not a good thing because it's like, wait, we have all these other things to work on. But I have this other thing that came up today where I was like, oh, maybe I need to do this. And I thought it might be a miniature, a short story book or whatever. Or it might just be a course because I like to do the video, to be honest, and then have somebody else translate it, I guess, to a book if I wanted it to. So I'm going to play around with that because, as some of you know, I have the other business, which is stupideasy.com, and that's where I can throw up a course quickly. So it's almost easier to do that than to sit and write a book. I can just do the course, and then if I really want to, I can make it into a book later. So I think I'm going to do that. Susan! Hey, no problem. See, there's a good example too. See, Susan planned this too. Erica and Susan, you guys did a great job today. I want to say thank you because you guys were perfectly planned examples. So Susan has said that she missed the notification. And for all of you guys, if you like what you see here and have seen, go ahead and not only follow my page, you can like it if you want, I don't care, but follow and see first, but take it one step further. Pop it into your calendar and say repeat Monday through Friday, 4 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. Boom, done. Because we can't rely on Facebook anymore. Sorry, Facebook, but we just can't. Facebook is, they're gonna try to hold us back, especially because, fun fact for those who are new, I don't do any paid ads. That's right. I don't do any paid ads, which means on Facebook land that they're not wanting to give me attention really because I'm not paying to play. When you have a business page, they want you to pay to play, which means you have to buy ads in order to be seen more. But I don't do that. I just really work hard and work with you guys on showing up, delivering, and engaging. So that's just a little background for those who are new, because I know I have a lot. So feel free, even in the replay or after the show, well, it's just still the replay, but I'm like saying, hey, live viewers, you can wait till later if you want, but feel free to promote yourself. Promote whatever you got in the comments. I give you a permission to do that. It's okay. And we're just going to have a fun party day. Promote day. And then next Friday, we're going to have our celebration for our 100th episode. I have only 5 slots open for you to come on live with me, so don't wait. And that's in the comments above too, so just to know. Susan says, all organic. It's so true. All organic. I don't do any paid ads right now either. Perfect, Susan. Yeah. And Susan's got some great stuff. You guys saw, or you might have missed it, but I shared her post the other day on the page here, because she's got some great stuff. And actually, we need to get you back on the show, which I think we're working on that, so I'm really excited. Susan's going to become a guest again, which you guys can become a guest too later. You can do it for free. It's over on Check with Ed, so you can find it under the shows. Vicky says, thank you for allowing us to share, Ed. I'm going to read this out loud just to give you guys examples. So Vicky, for her promo, is saying, I create gorgeous jewelry for women for both formal and informal occasions. You can find me over at, and then here's her Facebook page. Boom. That is awesome. That's what I'm talking about, you guys. It's just something simple. It doesn't have to be a whole, long spiel and too much time thinking about it. Like, just break it down. All I want is for you to just break something down. I just don't want you to drop a link, because that doesn't do you any favors. And I'm training you to stand out from the crowd, because what you learn here, you're going to then go apply it elsewhere. And that means when you go to Facebook groups and they have promo days, you're going to stand out, because you're not just going to drop your link, because you're going to be like, oh, Ed's not going to like that. Because I'm always watching. I'm always watching. And then you're going to be like, nope, I'm going to do this. And then boom, it's good. Susan says, I'm sad I'm missing your 100th episode. I know, I'm sad too. Susan and I were talking the other day for that. Go to for tech. Thank you. Yeah, and another fun thing for you guys to know is, if you want to help me in a project of mine, you can send it's free. You can send a video via Facebook Messenger to me, because I can save the videos that way. You can send a video to me of you answering one question for me. So what you would do, and this is just a fun project that I put out there, and I'm seeing a lot of your videos come in, and they're super cool. All you would do is take your phone, flip it into landscape. You don't have to go live. You can just open up your camera app, hit record, and you're literally on camera just going to say, who is Ed? And then you give your raw feedback, like, who is Ed to you? Ed is my tech guy. He's the one I call when something happens. He's da-da-da-da-da. Like, I don't care. Whatever you think of when you say, who is Ed? And then record that, and then send it to me via Facebook Messenger. That would be awesome. That would be awesome, because I'm working on an artsy project. It's a vision that came to me a week ago, last Friday. And it's cool. It's fun to see your guys' videos, and to just learn more and see what you guys think of me, So feel free to participate in that. The sooner the better. And it doesn't have to be anything long. Literally, it could be 30 seconds. If you want to go longer, cool. But just something fun. And some of you guys have already done that, and I appreciate it. Thank you. Let's read a couple of these too. Susan says, I help business owners sell with ease without the sleaze. I love that, by the way. Join my community. And Susan's got a great community. Some of us are in there, so it's awesome. You can practice selling in my group. Oh, isn't that a turn of events? How many of you guys, even if you're watching the replay, hear that when you are looking at Facebook groups where they're saying you can practice selling in their group? That's rare. That's rare. And that's the cool thing too. I'll mention, about the Hey Ed community, which I love hearing the feedback from the community members, is the fact that I give them the opportunity to practice going live. And share that with us so we can all learn. It's really fun when you open it up there. A lot of you know that there's a lot of Facebook groups out there, and of course there's going to be rules, and the more people you have, the more strict you have to be about the rules. So I get it, there's that thing, but some are just so darn strict that it's like, I'm coming from providing value, but I feel like I can't provide anything because I'm afraid I'm going to get in trouble. Therefore, I don't even provide. So, there's a balance there that you have to work with. So keep that in mind. Erica, I don't know. I haven't checked the list, but I'm thinking that you need to be on there if you're not already on there, if there's a space. Paula says, if you have a child with food allergies and need guidance, meal planning ideas, and support, go to Paula's website because I'm here to help. Oh, I love it. So you guys are doing great. That is perfect. I love that. Yep, I have to force people to promote. Yeah, Susan, isn't that funny? So those who are listening, because I know a lot of people will be listening audio, this is an interesting point too for all of you, is that Susan said, I have to force people to promote. It's so funny because I experienced that too. When I'm trying to get you guys to come on here as a guest, because it's free to do, and you just sign up, and all you have to do is show up and deliver your knowledge. It's not a direct, well, hey, I'm here to sell you XYZ. No, we have a conversation. We talk about it. We have a good time. And then it's, where can people find you? What information can you give them that they can then go find you later? Like, that's how it works. And it's so funny because, yeah, it's like, come on! I got it open for you. What are you waiting for? Like, let's do it. It's not scary because you got me. It's not like it's you by yourself on the hot seat. You got me over here. So I totally relate, Susan. And that's why I encourage you guys, even if you're watching the replay, that's why I'm always encouraging you to comment. Because I know for a lot of you, that's like the first step. And that's a step that can be very scary because you're visually putting yourself out there. I say visually, I don't even know if that makes sense, but when you comment, you're being seen potentially from other people, and you are like, well, they may not like what I say. That's fine. Just say it. Just get it out there. And so the commenting is the first part. Well, technically, watching live like you are now, even if you're watching the replay, that's the first part. Then you got to go into commenting. Then you start doing the emojis. Then you start sharing it out. Then you start tagging your friends. And then you build up your, okay, I'm ready to go live with or without somebody. So this is kind of like, think of this as training wheels. You got your Ed training wheels on. You become a guest and you're rolling here with me. And then afterwards, you take the training wheels off and bye. Stop at the store and get me some milk. Maybe a slushie. Just kidding, I can't. I'm not. No. I haven't had a slushie in a long time. Paula says, my daughter wanted my phone, but just said, never mind, you're watching Ed. Smart. I like that. Look at that, you guys. I like that. See, it's real around here. We are really, like, the 4 to 5 o'clock hour Pacific Standard Time. Don't interrupt. Don't take my phone. Don't ask me for anything. Food is on the table. If I have to really tend to you, okay, but just give me this. This is my 1 hour of Ed time. Don't bother me. That is hilarious. I love that. Everyone, yeah, hashtag EdTalkTV. You guys are awesome. So anyway, just know that Facebook's having their issues. And another 2 cents of mine, and it really relates to entrepreneurship and how we all, myself included, try to do too much. When Facebook keeps adding more, and of course they're at a larger stage than many of us, and so they're at a point where they could add more. But as you can see, and as we have seen over time, more isn't always better. And yes, as a business, of course, you want to, keep up with the times, and you want to constantly, tweak things and keep your business alive. And in that sense, you do have to add new features and things like that. So there is a balance there. But then also realize that the more you add / the more you do, the more you have to pay attention to the user experience. Because usually what happens is you add more and then the user experience goes down. You have to pay attention and try to get them very balanced. It's very hard because you're so focused on adding more and doing more that you forget about why you're doing it and for who, right? Not just your audience. You're like on a mission. No, we need this, but why? If we get that, how are we going to work with our customers? Are they going to like that? What options are there? I will tell you right now, I'm updating on my business website. I'm updating the option because I offer web design packages, but then I'm also now adding basically a what did I call it? Keep it fresh service, because I know a lot of people come to me who have WordPress and they don't want to update their blog. That's just not their thing, and they don't. Just the word WordPress gives them the chills, and they're just like, ugh, no. So I'm working on updating the page this weekend to now have a Keep It Fresh section, which basically would be a couple different packages, small, medium, large. And what I have to do is go through not only the thinking process of what they cover for updating blog posts for you, the customer, but then I also have to go through my whole system to say, okay, when somebody fills this out, what do they get? When they select this, what happens? When this happens, what goes on here? Am I getting the right information? Is it going in the right spot? Did I test it before I put it out there? Once I put it out there, am I watching for those little tweaks that I have to make? Because there's always going to be something that you forgot or that you could make better. So you're constantly fine-tuning things. So just remember that and know that you just stay focused on the customer. Stay focused on your audience and be open to that feedback. So there's that. Not bad on a Friday, huh? Susan, yep, I'm doing that with moving it to a new system. Yeah, it's a lot of work. It's fun. I mean, I love strategy and that's what I do with my clients. But when you're the one doing it for you and all your things, it's almost more work because you can't separate yourself from what you were doing. I don't know if that makes sense. Debbie, what's happening? I'm so glad to see you. I hope your Friday's going well. You just made my day, which was otherwise awful. Oh, well, I'm glad you tuned in. See, you guys, Debbie knows that anytime, I'm right there for you. I tuned in and I hear you talking about UX all the time, Debbie, all the time, right? I'm so excited that you're here. So yes, it's just really keeping that balance as much as possible with who you're serving and how you're serving them, and making sure that you don't forget that when you add something, you have to make sure that it's working here. And that's why Snapchat, going back to the beginning real quick, that's why Snapchat now redesigned their redesign in hopes that users will be happy with it, or at least happier, so then that way they can go from there. No worries, Sabrina. Have a great night. We're ending anyway, so thank you so much, and check out later. Have a great weekend, you guys. I'm going to leave you with this. If you need anything, checkwithed.com has all your info, and I'll be in the comments later on, and just let me know. And feel free to promote. Remember, I just gave you permission. It's good. You can do it. All right. Take care, guys.